Hey guys, Rick Stone here from Our Stoney Acres. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about planting garlic. We're going to talk about when to plant it, how to plant it, and where to get the seeds. Okay? So before we get started, please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click that notification bell so you get notice every time I release new videos, which is about once a week. And also make sure you go over and follow us on Instagram. We're doing a lot of fun stuff. I try and jump in the stories almost every day and give you a gardening tip or take you on a tour of the garden. So a lot of fun stuff happening there. Then make sure you hang around because I'm going to talk to you about a 14-day free trial that we have going on with the Gardening Academy as well. So we'll get to that at the end of the video. All right, so we're going to talk today about planting garlic. And I get the question all the time, when should I be planting my garlic? Is it too late to plant? Lots of different questions. Unfortunately, most of the time, I get those questions in the spring. Spring is not the right time to plant garlic. Now, you can plant garlic in the spring, but you won't get nearly as good of a crop if you plant in the spring versus planting in the fall. And the reason why we want to plant in the fall is that gives a long time for these cloves to get established and growing before the warm weather shows up in the spring and really kind of gets things moving forward. And so it is way better. You're going to get much bigger, healthier, happier plants if you plant them in the fall. Okay, so when in the fall is the next question that I get. You want to wait until it really starts to cool off. So I say that you should wait at least 2 weeks after your first frost. So for example, our first frost is usually October 1st. I don't even start thinking about planting my garlic until October 15th. And you really have a pretty broad range after that to plant. As long as your ground hasn't frozen, you're okay to plant. So for most of us that live in the Northern Hemisphere, planting time for garlic is going to be sometime in October or November. Even those of you that live in the really warm areas are probably going to be thinking about planting your garlic in November, early December. The key is you want to get it in while it's cool. That gives them a chance to get established and to grow well. They also like to have that cooling off period. Like a lot of other bulbs, they like to have that cooling off period. It really helps them to grow better. Okay, the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to get your beds ready. So I don't want you to just go out and throw the garlic in the ground. I actually want you to take some time to actually do a little prep work in your garden first. And the thing that I really want you to do is I want you to get some compost in that bed. Garlic is really going to appreciate the extra nutrients and organic material that compost will bring to the party. Okay, so I like to get my beds ready, and then I like to add 2 or 3 inches of compost and then kind of just stir it in to the top, 2 to 4 inches of soil in my garden bed. So kind of just mix that in. That is really, really, really going to help your garlic to do better during the growing season if you have amended your soil with some compost first. Now, if you really feel like you need it, you could also do some fertilizing at planting time. So I would prefer that you use an organic fertilizer. Look at the directions on the package and, put the fertilizer in based on the directions on whatever package you're using, but you could throw in some organic fertilizer as well if you wanted to, if you feel like you need it. Now, I put compost in my beds every year, and I feel like that my garlic does fantastic without fertilizer, and so I usually don't fertilize my garlic, especially in the fall when I first plant it. But that is definitely an option if you feel like that's something that your garden needs. Okay. Next, we need to select some of the biggest and best bulbs to plant. Okay, so I'm going to come up here closer to the camera and hopefully we can get it to focus. So this is our bulb, and I'm going to pull off a few cloves here, okay? And you want to choose, and this variety, this is a nice big clove, okay? Some varieties are going to be a lot bigger, but for this particular variety, this is a nice clove. And we want to plant with the pointy side up and the flat side down. So if you look really close, let's see again if we can get this to focus. See how that's the flat side there? That flat side is where the roots are. And we want the flat side down, we want the pointy side up. That's how we're going to plant, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. It is a big deal if you mess that up. You will still get a harvest, but the plant has to do this little curlicue to get things up. So you need to make sure that you plant it that right way. Flat side down, pointy side up. okay? And then it's really simple to actually get the garlic planted. So let me kind of do a cutaway here of us planting our garlic last year. It doesn't need to be very deep. Couple of inches is all you need to get it in. If your soil is soft enough, ours has a little bit of clay in it, and so we can't really press them in, but if you have soft enough soil, you can actually just press those cloves right into the ground. But you're just going to put them in a couple inches deep, cover them up just a little bit. That's all that it takes. Get those guys in there and away you go. Now spacing, let's talk about spacing. I'm all for intense planting. I like to get things planted as close as I can, but you also need to still respect that garlic plants need a little bit of space. So I have found that a really good spacing is about 4 inches. So within the row, I space them 4 inches apart, and then each row is 4 inches apart. That gives each individual plant about a 4 square inch space to grow in, and that seems to do really well. Saves space, still gives you a good productive plant. So 4 inches, great spacing, seems to work really well. That's the spacing we've used for years and years and years, and it does just really, really super well, okay? All right, then the last thing that I want you to do once you finish planting is I want you to mulch that bed. So you can choose a whole bunch of different types of mulches. You could use straw, you could use grass clippings. I really like to use leaves as my mulch. And so we get a lot of leaves down on the lawn. I run over them with a lawnmower, that kind of shreds them up, and then I will just put a nice thick layer, 3 or so inches of leaves on top of my garlic bed. That's going to keep the bed warmer during the winter, and then it's going to just offer a lot of good benefits in the spring. I don't clear it off, I just leave the mulch on. The garlic's going to come up through the mulch and going to be just fine. So that mulch is going to help in the spring with growing. It's going to keep your water demands down, and it's going to help to keep those plants protected and over the winter. And so it's a great option to put some type of mulch down as well. Okay, now let's talk about the seeds and where we get the seeds from. There's 4 options that you have for getting garlic seed to plant. And when I say seed, it's actually you're just planting garlic cloves, right? So first option is to order it online. There's a bunch of different sellers out there that sell garlic online. M.I. Gardner is one that comes to mind to me. Luke, he's a big YouTuber. You guys have probably seen him around. They offer a lot of different varieties of hardneck and softneck garlic, so you could get them from some type of online seller. The next option would be to choose some garlic from a farmer's market. So that's what we did originally, is we chose a garlic from a local farmer. And that is a great way to do it because you know that it's already locally adapted. You can talk to the farmer about the variety, get a little information, and it should grow really, really well. And that's a very good and also inexpensive way to get your garlic started, because sometimes those online sellers can be a little bit on the pricey side when it comes to garlic. So a great way to take care of that is to buy it from a local farmer's market. Then you can do the third method, which is save your own seed. So we originally bought this variety of garlic. Don't know the name, but it's a soft neck variety that we bought from a local farmer at a farmer's market 12 years ago, okay? We've never had to buy seed since, because what we do is we just go through and we look at these bulbs, and we'll choose the best, biggest, healthiest looking cloves off of our garlic, and we'll pull out, we usually plant 30 to 40 plants a year, so we'll pull off that many cloves and plant our own garlic. And the nice thing about garlic is it very quickly adapts to local conditions. So if you've got a variety that you know is already going to grow well, it will very quickly adapt to your garden within just a couple of years if you do that very thing. Choose the biggest, healthiest, best looking bulbs or cloves within the bulb, plant those, and then if you do that year after year, you'll very quickly get a locally adapted to your own garden variety of garlic that will do really, really well for years and years. Like I say, we haven't bought garlic seed for 12 years since that first season that we bought garlic from the farmer's market. So that is a great way to do it. Now, none of those options work out for you. There is one other option. You can buy garlic from the grocery store and plant it, but that's kind of a crapshoot. And the reason why is because, number one, you have no idea what variety you're getting. You don't know if it's locally adapted, if it was grown in a super warm environment. You just don't know. You have no way of knowing that. Number two, if it's not an organic variety, it may have been treated so that it doesn't sprout. And so that will really bring your germination rates down and affect you that way. And then you don't know if you're bringing any disease into your garden as well. So I will say I know a lot of people who have successfully grown garlic from grocery store stock, okay? But that's my last choice of all the different options to getting seed. That's the one that I would choose last, is actually getting it from a grocery store. All right, so that's it. That's how you grow your own garlic and get it planted in the fall. Fall, again, is perfect time to be planting it. And remember, as long as your ground hasn't frozen, it's not too late, okay? One year I planted on December 1st. Now, admittedly, that was a very mild fall, but we're usually planting mid-November, early November, somewhere around there. As long as that ground hasn't frozen, it's not too late. You can get your garlic planted. So get out there and get some garlic planted. Super easy. Great plant to grow, carefree, one of the best plants for gardeners to get going out in your garden. And the other nice thing is you can grow enough that you'd hardly ever have to buy it from the grocery store. So perfect plant for the garden, okay? All right, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, because that really helps me in the algorithm. I'd love to have you subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell so that you know when I release new videos. Also, please make sure you go follow us over on Instagram. We've got a lot of fun stuff happening there. And make sure you check out the Gardening Academy. There's a link down in the description that will take you out to the Gardening Academy, and that's our private membership service where I teach you how to grow better gardens, and I do a lot of fun stuff almost weekly. We're on there helping you to become better gardeners, and a lot of great stuff happening this winter, and so fun time for you to come and sign up. And I have a 14-day free trial that you can try to sign up as well. So click that link, it'll take you out. You can sign up for that trial. Let me tell you though, 75% of the people that sign up for the trial end up staying because they like the Gardening Academy so much. So go check it out. I think you're really going to love it. But if you happen to not like it, that's okay. You can cancel before the 14 days is up, and I won't charge you a penny for it. So go check that link out. It's down in the description below. Thanks again for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and appreciate you staying until the end. Everybody have a great week. Happy gardening.